Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Hannah and I like to lift heavy things. When I say heavy things, I mean like barbells. I like to pick up barbells and then put them back down again. I'll tell you the one thing about these monthly training highlights is that I don't realize how quickly months go until it's that time again where I need to make a monthly highlight. And honestly, it just goes by like that. So quick. October's been kind of like a funny training month for me. Now, by the title of this video, you will know that I have started my Accutane journey, or like Isotretinoin journey, which is basically a acne medication, like a really strong acne medication, which has like quite significant impacts on like muscle, or can have significant impacts on like the way your muscles feel and like the way you feel physically. So it's been a bit of a journey. It's been a little bit like up and down, which I'll explain throughout this whole video so that you guys know exactly what's going on. And this will be more like present in my later training vlogs. So if you are interested in the Accutane journey, do click that subscribe button, as well as give this video a big thumbs up, because I'm very, not excited, but I'm like looking forward to seeing what happens in terms of like my training and see how much it impacts me, and hopefully it can help you guys to see whether, if any of you are going through the same thing, whether you can like learn something from my experience, or we can go through this together, because this isn't fun. So those of you who know me and those of you who have subscribed to my channel will know that I went to a physio recently. So the Isotretinoin and the physio appointment have both like sort of thrown my whole October month of training out of whack. It has been a huge curveball thrown at me. So October has been really strange, but let's just get right into it. So leading into October, it was a big legs season. I wanted big leg energy, and I just wanted to get like strongest legs possible and just get the biggest legs possible. So that was the main focus of this training block. So we went into the training block with a starting point of 5s on squats. So we started at 105 kilos for 5 front squats, and then the point was like to try and aim to like a new max by the end of the month. So over the course of the month, I was very excited about this. So over the course of the month, I actually managed to go from a 105 for 5 to doing 110, 115, 120, and you guessed it, 125 for 5. Which is absolutely huge. Like, it's a weight I never thought I would touch for 5, and quite frankly at the beginning of the month I wasn't really sure how it was gonna go, but it felt really strong, and I kind of took week on week to see how I felt. I did take like a little bit of a deload week like halfway through, just because I felt like that's what my body needed, and it responded really well. So into like the 3rd and 4th week, I managed to get that 125 for 5, which was huge. Following that, I don't know whether it was just like the 5s energy, but I kind of added a lot more volume into my squats. So warming up, I started doing 8s, like 2 sets of 8s, 3 sets of 5, and 2 sets of 3s. And basically what happened was, I don't know whether it was because I was like warming up way more, or whether I felt more comfortable, or whether it was just the new like cue that I was giving myself whilst I was warming up, which was basically like to breathe really deeply and strongly into the bottom of the squat to be able to push back up as much as possible. But I managed to do 130 for 3 reps and 135 for 2 reps, which you guys would have seen in the vlog, which I'll link up here, which is a Wit Fitness vlog, which is good, so go and watch that. Now, to be completely honest, like I genuinely felt like these big squat progresses were down to 2 reasons. So the first one, the physio basically realigned my whole body. As he said, I had one leg which was slightly longer than the other, which kind of like made my hips shift. So at first I was in quite a lot of pain, like my back was in a lot of pain, because like the new movement had meant that I could move my hips better. I was pushing out of my quads way more. So I think that it was down to the fact that I was able to use the muscles I should have been using this whole time. So I was able to engage those a lot quicker and a lot easier, straight out of the hole, as opposed to like where I usually shift my hips up and back a little bit. So that was probably one of the reasons that was down to that. That started to feel really strong. And number 2 is that as Roaccutane is linked to joint and muscle pain, there were days where I literally like I couldn't do anything because my body hurt so much. I don't know whether this is like more psychological because I knew that this could happen, or whether it was an actual side effect, but basically there were days where I literally felt like I couldn't do anything. Like sitting into a deep squat or moving my body at all was so painful, and I just felt tired and achy and just all round a bit. So those days I would literally take to do like anything that I could do that wouldn't hurt. But it did mean that on days when I actually felt good, on days when my body felt fresh, I pushed way harder than I usually would. And usually those days would be the days that I would fit in the squats. So obviously the squats took priority, and that ended up being a lot stronger than I ever expected it to go. Now this links quite well into a video that I did make this month, which I'll also link up here, which is how I get the most out of my weightlifting sessions, which is kind of like how I've been doing all of my training recently. So go and watch that if you are interested. So another October highlight is a 100 kilo clean and jerk double. Now this isn't a PB, like my best double is 105, which I did in August back in Dubai. But this felt like a really big, important lift because I can vividly recall that day. The session, I felt awful. I didn't feel like I was warming up properly. I didn't feel like my body was moving properly, and everything felt a bit disjointed. But I got to 85 kilos and I was like, I can either do one of two things here. I can either just pull my finger out and try really, really hard, or give up and walk away. So I kind of gave myself 100 as a target. I was like, do that, and that's all you need to do, and then you can walk away happy and proud. So that's what I did, and I was really, really happy with how that moved, and it kind of reassured me that my strength is still there, despite the fact that I've probably clean and jerked like 3 times this month, like all together, which is usually what I do in a week. So pretty pleased with that. Pretty pleased with that. It kind of shows you that the mental side of things is usually always bigger than the actual physical side of things. So whilst I clean and jerk maybe 2 or 3 times, I have snatched maybe 4 or 5 times. So that's a win. Like I said, this just ended up being on days when I felt good, so I would try and push as much as possible to try and get the most out of the sessions. So on the days that I did clean and jerk and on the days that I did snatch, I usually did quite heavy or quite good reps. So I finally managed to get back under an 80 kilo snatch, which I was really, really happy about. I did then try to put 83 on, but it just wasn't there. I think I'd really hyped myself about the 80. I even tried to do it for a double instead of just a single, which would have been my best for 2 instead of just for 1. So really happy with that. I also managed to do a 76 kilo double, which is 1 kilo over my previous best, and a 75 kilo triple, which was really messy, but it felt good. It was just one of those days where I was just my mind was way more in it than anything else, and I just convinced myself that I was going to be able to do it, and that I was strong enough to do it. So small wins, you know. May have only snatched 3 or 4 times this month, but I feel like the days that I forced myself to do it, I was overcoming way more than I even imagined at the time. So the Accutane has basically required me to just kind of flip around my training a lot more. Now I know that I said to you guys last month that I was gonna stop doing powers and focus on snatches, full lifts and stuff. That's not gonna happen. So I'm still doing a lot of powers. This month has been another month of pretty good, nice powers, just because powers is the only thing that I can do, that I know I can do, that doesn't hurt my muscles and my joints because of the Accutane, or whether it's psychological or not. That's just what I've decided to do to try and limit the impact on my body. So the powers that I did this month include quite a few 70 kilo power snatches, a few times from the floor, a few times from the hang. I've done 100 kilo power clean a few times this month as well. So it's kind of in and around my best numbers, so really happy to still be moving that. This Accutane is no joke. I have really had to adapt my training because some days I walk and I literally can't do anything. So I think the most important thing that I'm kind of getting out of this Accutane and from this month in general, it's a very different kind of October highlights because I haven't really got much lifting to shout about. It's more about the fact that I've had to really remind myself that, and I still suffer every day. Most days that I go into the gym, I end up leaving having cried or gotten upset or got really pissed off or almost walked out because it's been really that challenging to get my head around. But obviously reflecting and hindsight is a wonderful thing, where I kind of walk away and I'm maybe it's okay to have missed a session, and maybe it's okay that I'm not doing what I should be doing right now, and I'm just doing things that mean that my body's gonna get through this stage of my life. As much as I put so much pressure on myself to do weightlifting because that's what I love to do and that's what I want to be best at, and that's what I love sharing content with you guys, but I have to prioritize this part of my life because this part of my life has been sort of navigating what I do and navigating how I feel for a few years now, and I kind of just need that to be gone and dealt with. I'm gonna try and share more of that side of the journey with you guys because it's something that's quite personal to me and something that I've been struggling a lot with, and I hope that it can help anyone. But yeah, so I'm going to try and vlog training on Roaccutane. Obviously this is all very individual and I'm not a doctor or anything, but yeah, that's my October highlight. I almost feel like I've disappointed you guys, which is sad, but I promise there's gonna be some big lifting soon. So please subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, because I really appreciate the support. And I know that we're all in this together. I will not start singing High School Musical. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.